to you there. It's Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday the 23rd of November 2021. Hello to you. I think there was an error actually yesterday on the date. I can't remember. I'm sure I realised there was an error on the date yesterday. Either the date or the date. So sorry about that. But here we are, full of correctness today. Are we slightly not quite in the middle, am I, today? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We have the old Union Jacket thing on today. Very thin this is. Very, very thin. Wanted to share with you a picture, a rather horrific picture, if you don't mind me saying so. Now, I don't mind what people want to do. It's entirely up to you, however you want to look. But, I mean, I think some people do take it just a little bit too far. Now, I'm going to show you a picture, probably a little bit frightening if there's any small people watching. Okay? It's not rude. It's just a bit frightening, and I'm concerned small people might not like this. So be warned, a picture is about to appear. Ready? Well, you've already seen it on the YouTube tab anyway, so here it is, gang. This is a man who's undergone a series of surgeries. Now, that is not a mask, okay? This is not a mask. I'm not sure if it's the same bloke that we've spoken about before who's had various modifications done to him. But this chap in the Daily Star is 33 years old, which isn't old, is it? Anthony, his name, Anthony Loffredo, has undergone a series of grisly surgeries in order to look like an extraterrestrial, including flying to Mexico, Hungary, hey, Iba. You remember the little mouse? That Mexican mouse, do you remember that? Anyway, he went to Mexico to get 2 of his fingers chopped off. Why would you do that? I don't know. It says a man from France. He's from France. He calls himself the Black Alien, has had 2 healthy fingers amputated in his latest extreme body modification move. You know, I've seen stuff before. People have had various things done. The simplest ones would be like a couple of earrings, perhaps, or big earrings. Some people have them all up the side there. Some people have a thing, and I've never liked that nose stud thing. Oh no, I don't like that. I've seen tongues, other bits and pieces. I've had bits and pieces put through them, but never anywhere near as much as this chap has had there. Must have cost him a fortune. I can't fathom out why someone would want to look like that, to be honest. I really don't, but each and every one to themselves, as I say. It says he's tattooed all over his body, is known on social media as the Black Alien Project. He's had many piercings and undergone some gnarly, how do you say that? Gnarly body modifications and surgeries to get his desired look. The bloke even has his nose and lips removed in the past in an attempt to make himself look like an extraterrestrial creature. And last year, the self-proclaimed alien visited Barcelona-based modifier Oscar Marquez to get his nose removed. Yes, he's actually had his nose removed. Mind you, I mean, some people have got quite large noses, as you can well see. Concorde was modelled on this nose all those years ago. Huh? Oh, I do miss Concorde flight. Used to fly right over my house. Long time ago now. Anyway, the extreme surgeon carried out the procedure known as rhinotomy, which has left Anthony with a gaping hole in his face. I mean, I don't know really. It's just odd. Anthony's now in his early 30s, has now had 2 fingers removed from his left hand in Mexico. The extreme body modification fan posted a video on Instagram to reveal the surgery and said, "I develop my inner peace." Captioning a photo of his 3-fingered hand, Anthony wrote Black Alien Evolution 34. Now, does that mean he's had 34 things done to him? I just imagine it. It seems the 33-year-old believes he still has 66% of his transformation into an extraterrestrial left to complete. So God knows what else he's going to have done. I mean, maybe perhaps you could suggest something. We could pass on your message. I'm sure Anthony, as well as the rest of the world, watch this programme with great interest. You know, maybe he could have his eyes taken out of his head and placed on stalks like that. I mean, you could have one bit. That would be fabulous to see what's coming up behind you, wouldn't it? I mean, I never used to look, to be honest, but it would be a good idea to to see who's coming up behind you. You could have one eye pointing that way and one eye pointing that way, couldn't you? Fabulous. I don't know. As well as having removed his fingers, note and lips, Anthony has also had both of his ears chopped off, his eyeballs tattooed black. Oh my God, that must hurt. Imagine a little needle going in and out your eye. You may remember the story we done probably about a year ago now. Do you remember the lady? She had there was a lady who had the whites of her eyes tattooed, and something went wrong, and she got the most terrible infection. I don't know if she went blind or not. But she was close to it. I can't remember now. It's a long time ago. He also had his tongue split in half and reptilian implants placed under the skin and in his face. And not all of those modifications have been easy, as the alien fan revealed he struggled to speak without his lips. I should think you would do, my love. He's got green... Just so weird. It's just so weird. He said, from a very young age, I've been passionate about mutations and transformations of the human body. I had a click when I was a security guard. I realised I was not living my life the way I wanted. I stopped everything at 24 and left for Australia. He said, it's become normal, even unconscious, to constantly think about my plans for the next few months. I love getting into the shoes of a scary character. Well, you have to dress up, would you? Wouldn't have to have any makeup on it like that. Anyway, what do you think? Is there something you'd like to change about yourself? Eh? Are you a little bit older now? Are you kind of thinking about the old Botox in the face? You know, that must be one of the most ultimate... what's the word? Ultimate rude... I can't remember the word now. Ultimate Christmas present type thing to get someone like, you know, a course of Botox injections. That'll upset them, wouldn't they? If you've got an X or something like that, get them like a facelift or a course of Botox injections, perhaps a skin peel. There you go. Happy Christmas. The ultimate insult, that's it. The ultimate insult is to get someone some sort of body modification thing done for Christmas, I suppose, would it be? I had a couple of earrings once, that was all. And then there were big hoop ones I had once. I don't know what was wrong. Even I used to do stuff like I had spiky hair, like it was like this. I don't know what my mum and dad used to think, but they never sort of stopped me doing anything like that. I think it's all part of growing up, really. I wonder if my great nieces or none of my nieces and nephews sort of went through anything like that. I wonder if my great nieces or nephews will. Any comments at all about that? Stick them in the comments section underneath there. Or you can send an email if you want to that email address, right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Just like to thank Gary Ross. He sent, I forgot Gary, I'm so sorry, that he sent me a tip a few days ago. So thank you very much, Gary Ross, for that. That's much appreciated. All right. So yesterday, I had no hot water again yesterday. It had worked all the day before, after my nephew had come round here. And Martin had a look at the air conditioner. He couldn't get that going either. But last night, I bought them a little dinner. All of us actually. We were going down to Skegness to the Trawler's Catch, our favourite place. We got there, it was closed. Now, I seem to remember it was always open till about 10 o'clock at night. No, I mean, we got there, it was before 7, about 7:15. It was closed. So we had to go back down the other end of the sort of promenade, turn left, and there's a place there. Oh, God blimey, what's it called now? Was it Seashore? See something. Anyway, it was another place that my sister had taken Auntie Brenda to before a couple of years ago, and Auntie Brenda really liked it in there. And it was really good value, actually. We had 4 adult dinners. We had 5 adult dinners. And they were large. And 2 children's dinners. And that come to just 50 quid. And that included drinks. That was drinks and everything. 50 quid for all that. I thought that was really reasonable. You know, especially when you consider, like, me and my mate will go to McDonald's very, very rarely, and that's like 22 quid for two of us. 50 quid for 5 main meals and 2 children's dinners. I thought that was excellent value, and they were lovely meals, really lovely meals. The only thing is, Gary, that they didn't have any pies in the sort of heated thing where they'd been in the oven. Gary, my nephew, he wanted a pie. So the bloke says, well, we can do it in the microwave, he said, but I haven't got time to do it in the oven now. And Gary decided to have it in the microwave. And it was like one of those, you heat it, and don't cook from scratch, you know. Take it out the packet and heat it up quickly. So he had that in the microwave. And I have to say, the pastry actually looked very tasty like that. The pastry on there. I had baked beans on a large chips. I probably had 2 portions of chips in the end, by the time I'd eaten the kids' ones as well. No, I didn't take them off the children. No, I didn't. But they leave food. They leave food. And you know what I'm like? I can't bear food being left. It does my head in. So I had their chips that they didn't want. And it was a really nice meal. Really nice meal. Anyway, and then we went to Aldi afterwards. And I bought some batteries. I'm going to tell you for what in a minute. Because you're going to love this. You're going to love what I've got to tell you tonight. Or whatever time you're watching this. So going back to yesterday morning, after the radio show, went down to the swimming pool. And I've been waiting to go to Asda for the cheap petrol. Okay, because it's always cheaper there by 3, 4, 5 pence a litre. Always is, right? So I've gone down the swimming pool. I got into the pool yesterday. And I don't know if it was the same. This is the one in Boston at the George Mulder Leisure Centre. That's where I am. That's the one I go to while I'm up here in Lincolnshire. I stepped into the pool. Oh my God, it was lovely. I said to you before, that pool is always warmer than the one in Bracknell. Sometimes you get in that one in Bracknell. Oh, that's blooming cold. You've got to force yourself to jump in. It's a bit like that one. This one, I put a foot in, not cold at all. It was a lovely temperature. And I'm not sure if the pool was hotter than it was normally, because I've told you before, it's never cold when you get in there. But I don't know if it was hotter than normal, or it was so cold outside, because it was only about 4 degrees yesterday. I don't know if it was just so cold outside that it actually felt warmer. You know what I mean? So anyway, I had my swim up and down, got out, had a shower, and got back in the car. I thought, right, I'll go and get my petrol now. And I've driven. Boston can be a little bit busy on the traffic. There's a. When I say busy, not London. You know, not like London where you can be queuing up for half an hour, 45 minutes in some of these queues, especially the Euston Underpass one. Dreadful. Half an hour to get under that tiny little bit of road. Shocking, because they took a lane away. Anyway. So, and I'm coming around the corner. Oh, there's the petrol station. I've driven round to Asda, and then I saw the sign. I was bitterly disappointed. 145.9, which is actually dearer than some of the petrol stations I drove past coming up here. There's a particular one on the A1M. I can't remember where it is. It might be an Apple petrol station. Apple. There's one called Apple. It might be one of those, and it's just before a roundabout. I can't remember where. And I'm sure I saw it for 140.9 on the way up here. And I thought, no. Oh, 140.9. I remember, as I was past it, 140.9. Oh, excellent. Probably 138 at Asda. No, 145.9. I was so disappointed. Not as disappointed that I was when it came to the end of looking at the blooming meter to see how much I'd just put in. 2 years ago, when I was coming up here, just before the pandemic, I was able to fill my car up for, I think, just over £40. It wasn't much more than that. It was about £40 to fill my car from almost empty to full, right? More recently, it's been going up, 45, 46, and we got to 50 quid. Anyway, as I put the pump into the, the hole in the car, And I started pumping away, and I'm kind of looking at this thing, and I don't really watch the meter constantly going around. I kind of more looking at the little hole to make sure none of the petrol comes out. The first pump I went to, oh yeah. So there's two pumps, one in a row. There's one at the front, one at the back. So someone's at the front one, you pull into the back one. Of course, I pulled into the back one, push the button in the car so the flap comes open, ding, like that. Which reminds me, I think I saw it open a moment ago. I'll go and sort that out in a minute. Pushed that then, got out of the car with my credit card. You usually put it in the machine, just going to put it. This pump is out of service. I thought, oh, F it. I said, F it. I swore. I know. Isn't that horrific? I swore. In front of people. The bloke in front of me laughed. He said, I did that. Anyway, I waited for him to fill up. Then he moved off and I moved forward slightly, put my card in the machine and started filling up, at which point a lady pulled in behind me and she just opened her door. I said, don't bother getting out, love. That one's out of order. I won't be long. She smiled and waved. So, no, and it went click, okay, right? And you know how it is. I tend to film, I know you're not supposed to, but I fill mine up to the brim, I do. So, right, there you go, put it back on there. Okay, I'm going to push the button now that you do. You put the pump back on the thing, and then it waits a while when you push a button if you want a receipt. I always get a receipt. You never know, someone can't, oh, you haven't paid for your petrol. Police cars turn up. Hello, got the receipt here, thank you very much. Anyway, so this receipt's come out, and I've looked at the thing. Well, I nearly fell through the floor. 61 blooming quid. 61 quid now. I've never, ever put in over 60 quid into that car. I think the most I've ever put in was about £55. It's now £61 to fill that car up. Thank God I do so many miles to the gallon. But there's a story there as well, right? You may remember about a week or two ago, I said to you, after we've changed to this new E10 petrol, I don't think I'm getting as many miles per gallon. And I said to you I'd come back to you, didn't I? Because the first time I did it, I thought, that's a bit odd. Maybe I haven't been driving carefully like I normally do. I'm a miles per gallon driver, okay? I take it easy everywhere, accelerate slowly. I'm the one, when the traffic lights go green, that takes off slowly, and you're the one flashing your lights. Have a bit more patience, love. Bit more patience, that's all we ask, dear. Right. Anyway, I seem to be getting, so it's the second time I've done this now, and I made sure this time I drove carefully, right? No putting your foot down, no 80 mile an hour, no 70 mile an hour, no 65 mile an hour, no 55 mile an hour is the fastest I go on that motorway, right? And in London, I'm to the speed limit. There's lots of places where it's only 20 mile an hour, right? And I stick to that. I am getting, since we changed the petrol, I would say between 50 and 60 miles per tank less. So not only are we paying more for the petrol, we're getting even less miles per gallon now. What a mick take. It's getting worse and worse, isn't it, life? Don't you think so? Do you ever look around you and think, oh, this is getting so crap, this life now? Do you ever think that? Everything is like against us, isn't it, eh? Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Don't know if you found out the same thing. I think it was... now, who told me to get the other petrol? One of our dear viewers... Oh, was it White Van? Was it Mr. Sprinter Van? Might have been Mr. Sprinter Van. Someone told me, no, pay the extra money for the E5. Go back to E5. It is dearer, but you'll get more miles per gallon. But I was trying to work out, well, yeah, I mean, you're paying more. Is it worth the amount of miles you get to pay that extra 5, 6, 7 pence a litre? Because then it would be up to 65, 70 pounds a tank, wouldn't it? I just wonder if it's actually worth that. My nephew's wife, I spoke to her last night while we were out for dinner, and they do that. They do buy the extra, the more expensive petrol. And she says you definitely notice the miles per gallon on that. So I'll have to think about that. All right. Anyway, that's the petrol saga. So no hot water. Right. Here we go. Now, the issue at the moment, there's an issue with my hot water heater here. And I mean, there's nothing I can do to it. I won't touch anything that's got gas in it, you know, really, other than turn it on and off. I've had a go at it on, off, on, off, on, off. And sometimes it would work, and sometimes it doesn't work. Okay? Most of the time, it doesn't work. So it didn't work yesterday. You remember that, right? Or the day before yesterday. My nephew came out. He just turned it on and off, and it started working again. And it was all right all day on Sunday. Yesterday morning, I got up. Nothing. All day, nothing. No hot water. On, off. No hot water at all. And washing up in cold water in the blooming winter isn't fun. You know it's not fun. We've also, a few weeks ago, I had a plumber come round twice. Okay, lovely man. Never rips you off. Always, oh, just give us a tenner or something like that. It's a bit like that, right? But he didn't know the boiler. He managed to get it going twice. But he himself told me all I've done is keep turning it on and off. And you remember, when you turn it on, when I say you turn it on, you turn the tap on and it bursts into life, okay? It goes tick, 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 which is supposed to be the little spark. Tick, 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 tick. And it goes as you hear it light. So he's been out. We've also had the installer out who put it in, who came round, turned it on, and it just worked. And it worked all the time he was here. This is the problem with an intermittent fault. Very difficult to find, especially if you're perhaps someone who works on cars. I know some of you boys work on the cars, don't you? You know what it's like finding a blooming intermittent fault, right? So he's come round and said, see how it goes. All right. So that was a few weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I'm up here today. When I came up here on Saturday night, very early Sunday morning, 2 o'clock Sunday morning, 2:30 Sunday morning, I got here. First thing I did was wash my hands. Bang! Off it came. Wonderful hot water come out. Did a few more bits and pieces. Just on my way to bed, go to brush my teeth. No hot water. And it didn't come on again until my nephew came round. He came round and turned it on and off a few times. It worked. And it worked for the whole of Monday. It did work. And Tuesday morning, wouldn't work at all. Would not work. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And I don't know what made me do it. But I thought to myself, right, and there's a reason that I didn't do this. How about if you change the batteries in the ignition system? That's the thing. Goes like that. Now, I thought if you could hear it going, then surely the spark is happening. But I wondered, if the batteries are dying, perhaps that spark isn't as strong as it needs to be. In which case, change the batteries. So I had a look in there, found these two batteries, which are kind of held in. And it's the weirdest. They're two plastic things like that. But they've also got like a plastic lip under there, which kind of pushes them up a little bit further. One of which, of course, I managed to break. But nevertheless, so I took one battery out and I thought, okay, this is only going to cost you, it won't even cost you £2. Get a couple of batteries and see what happens. Skegness, right? On the way home, we popped into Audi in Skegness. It was my favourite Audi, actually, Audi Skegness. Very nice and light and clean and laid out well in there. Picked up a couple of Panasonic batteries. No, actually, they didn't have them in there. We had to go next door to B&M, which was open till 9. We got in there like at 3 minutes to 9, you know. So we were lucky with that. I went in there with great niece Evie. I said, do you know where the batteries are in there? She said yes, and she just took me to the batteries. Picked up these two Panasonic batteries, £1.80, got in the car, come home. I was in the car with Harry in the back seats. We mucked around, got told off by, by Gary's wife. And I got back here, and the first thing I did, I went in there and I changed the batteries. Now, because I've broken off this blooming plastic thing, which I mean, it was the most stupid thing. I don't think you could have actually got the battery out without breaking this damn thing, right? But you just kind of push it in and then it would click and then it would hold it in there. But of course, it don't click now, so you've got to just hold the batteries up and then push the bottom of this little box thing and twist it and then it locks. And I did that. Wait for it, wait for it. First of all, I'm turning the tap. Now there's no click at all. And I thought, oh, Christ. Maybe that plastic thing just pushes them up a little bit harder so that it makes the connection. I thought, oh, you've broken this now, haven't you? Anyway, I took it apart again. And I left the tap on, right? I left the tap on. And I managed to mucking around with these batteries. And I pushed it up. And it's only burst into life. Right, but as I kind of let go of the box, it went out again. So I think that those batteries have to be connected for it to carry on working. I've got a feeling that's how it works. Anyway, I mucked about with it a little bit more, and every time I turned the tap on and off, whoosh, this thing burst into life and hot water appeared. The one thing that none of us have tried, including 2 plumbers, is to and my brother-in-law, is to change the batteries, or my nephew rather. That's the one thing none of us have done: change the batteries in this ignition thing. So that's working now. Okay, I'm up here for another couple of days, and we will see. Meantime, of course, before all this happened, I've now emailed the installers because he's offered to replace it with a combination boiler. Although I'd only be using the water heater, but that's got a bit of a problem in itself in that it won't fit in the cupboard, and alterations would have to be made to do this, which is a bit of a job, really. He told me it's a bit of a long job, that one. Okay, so I'll see what happens now over the next couple of days, whether or not that works or not. Also, I think I'll have to put something in that plastic thing. That should be fairly easy. I've got, those like sponge sticky things. I can put that in where that connector is, and that will just push the battery up so it makes the connection properly, as I broke the plastic thing off. Please. I mean, is that what it was? Just needed 2 batteries? Why didn't anyone try that? We'll see what happens. All right. On the subject of my hot air thing that's in the living room that's not working anymore, that is out of guarantee, unfortunately, which is a blooming shame because I think it's only 2.5 years old, or maybe 3 years old, something like that. But the installers are quite far away, and I said to him, there's a bloke who lives on the site. His name's Reese. I said he could have a look. What do you think? He said, get him to have a look then, and if you really get into any more trouble, give us another ring and we'll sort something out. So that it would be ideal if he can fix it, because of course he's on where I am now, so he's going to pop over tomorrow morning at some point before sort of 12 o'clock and take a look at that. All right, that's my news on the old hot water, and just constant maintenance here, isn't it? Constant maintenance. Thanks very much to Vera for sending a picture. She knows I can't get hold of cheese and onion crisps at the moment, so she sent me in, I don't know why it's the wrong way around, a lovely picture of Walker's Raise a Smile cheese and onion. Oh, it says this Christmas. Look, you can just see that. Can I turn that round? Hang on, right, let me see if I can turn that round for you. Try that clockwise. There we go. There we are. Look at that. Can you see that? Right at the top there, it says, this Christmas, raise a smile. Walker's Cheese and Onion Crisp. Well, if we can get hold of any, dear. Thank you very much, Vera. Kind as... Oh, you're over there, are you? Kind as always to send in such things, aren't you, my darling? All right. And one other picture here, couple of pictures here. John Parish has sent in a picture. He's been doing a little bit of work in his house. He's been doing some painting and changing the kitchen. And this is the kitchen before he started doing his decorating. There you go. Which is all right, I'll be honest with you, John. I'm not bothered about modern things, this, that and the other. That looks perfectly all right to me. There you go. That's the kitchen before. But look what he's done to it. Here we go. That's the kitchen after. Doesn't that look lovely now? All those modern bits and pieces there. He's done that all himself. I'm sure Sherry's beautiful wife had a little bit of work going on there. He says in the email, where is it now? That's that one. Here we go. He says it's not an ultra modern kitchen, but it's ours more importantly. Sherry did it all, bless her. Even helped me change the light fitting. It looks perfectly all right to me, John. I know what you mean by that. My mate had his kitchen done, as you well know, And it's nice. It's and his big kitchen is ultra modern. You know where you've got the fridges. You see all those fridges and that down there. His are all built in now, so you can't see the front of them. Now, I'll be honest with you. I just don't see the point of that. You know, what's the problem with not being able to see a fridge? However, that's what he wants, you know, and that's the way it is. To me, as long as it looks clean and tidy. I mean, yours is much tidier than mine, John. To be honest. Definitely a lot tidier than mine. It's nice and bright, and I think that's important in a kitchen as well, isn't it? In actual fact, I'm thinking of changing lights in my kitchen because they're a little bit dim in there, to be honest. Anyway, that's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you'd like to leave a message, feel free so, either in the comment section or you can send an email at the... Sorry, I've got the wrong thing up there. Send an email there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. 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 Have a nice Tuesday and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.